Hi, everybody, and welcome to this F1 to H-1B practical tips for a smooth transition. Today, I'm going to be covering 2025 updates, and there are a few of those. Key employer considerations, key employee considerations, and then obviously, just some key takeaways as we transition through this period. I'm doing this as a pre-recording, but I'm typically, what I tell you if I was live with you is to turn off distractions. This is intended to be a short, concise, engaging video. And I would love for you to just kind of be with me for a few minutes so that you can get the best out of this presentation. Every case is unique, so I am just giving you general information here. If you have a specific questions about your case, of course, you need to seek legal advice for your specific case. But I do hope that this information will help you, give you the information you need, or at least some peace of mind. The other thing that I want to encourage you to do is to get involved. Again, turn off distractions, come with me and learn as you get involved in this presentation. For that, the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is just rate yourself. What do you feel is your level of knowledge right now about a transition from an F1 to an H-1B? This is a rating for just you. Just think, I know nothing. That would give you a 0, or you're a 10. You're fully confident in your knowledge and this transition period. I know from doing this for many years that the immigration journey can feel overwhelming, but it is one of the most powerful strategies to build dreams, resilient teams, and long-term leadership. And I know that's why you're here talking to me or listening to me. Again, no two cases are alike or the same. Every candidate, every employer brings in their unique backgrounds, credential histories. So again, take this as general knowledge. My slides just advanced on their own. So quick background on me. Well, somehow they may be advancing on their own. I may have to talk a little quicker. My name is Giselle Carson, and I'm a corporate immigration attorney. And let's talk about what is new for the 2025 period. What we're seeing, or actually something to remind you of, is that the cap gap runs through April 1st of next year, not October 1st. We're getting many questions about the cap. H-1B cases not being adjudicated yet. And I believe that is in part due to the fact that USCIS has copious amount of times that they have created for themselves for adjudicating these cases. So unlike prior years, where OCAP cases almost needed to be adjudicated by October 1st, not always, but that was the goal. Now the goal is April 1st. So that can create some issues, particularly for those wanting to travel or those that don't know about this. It can create anxiety. We're also going to be seeing FDNS, which is the fraud detection and national security units, that they are going to be doing some H-1B site visits that are mandatory. I'm going to explain a little bit about that so that you're not surprised if it happens. And then always travel abroad. It's always a question that we receive. And this year, more than ever, maybe next year too, planning ahead, expecting the delays and roadblocks, it is critical. So keep that in mind. Now, CapGut scenarios, because again, now we're seeing that the period for adjudication runs all the way through April 1st. So we have to look at the various scenarios. So if the H-1B cap was approved before October 1st, and for many of you, you do have an H-1B cap approval, what that means is you will transition to H-1B status starting October 1st. If it has not been approved by October 1st, but it gets approved between October 1st and April 1st, well, then you will have a smooth transition to H-1B on the approved date. What we're also seeing for many cases this year more than ever are requests for additional evidence and notice of intent to deny for those petitions that are being adjudicated now. What does that mean? Your work continues until the decision is rendered or until April 1st. For many of you, you're still under STEM EAD or F-1 OPT EAD, which is really good. If there is a denial, the work stops and there's a 60 days grace period. If the petition is pending on April 1st, and my hope is that they're not, but if they are, as we approach April 1st or even the beginning of the year, we're going to have to start taking a look with our clients and determining whether premium process is necessary. That is a strategic decision. So just keep always just keep informed as to what is going on. I mentioned the FDNS visits, so again, fraud detention. Those visits are unannounced, and when they arrive, they will arrive at the front desk and they will identify themselves as FDNS or USCIS officers. These visits are not as controversial or as aggressive, I would say, as ICE visits. They're more cordial. They're really more there just to investigate. So typically what happens is the officers may be there anywhere from typically an hour to 2 hours, conducting, I would say, conversations or interviews with the HR, the employee, the manager. They also do a document review, a site walkthrough, and they will take photos, and then they do a compliance report. I have done presentations on just FDNS visits. I have blogs on this. So if you want more information about it, just go ahead and reach out or Google it, because I have some more information out there. And this is it's important to know. And then the last thing that we need to talk about, oh, I thought I had a slide on travel, but maybe not. So I did mention that I have more information about it, and I have a lot of information on our YouTube channel. So please, it's there for you. It's there for you to use so that you get accurate information. I would encourage you to go and visit our YouTube channel. You can always scan that QR code and subscribe. By subscribing, you also allow us to become more visible and share this practical and invaluable knowledge that is so beneficial at this time. So I hope to see many of you subscribing and watching those videos in our channel, which is for you. Okay, so travel considerations. Again, we get many questions about travel. Here is the things that I need you to remember. Cap gap travel. So if you are in cap gap period, meaning your status, whether you had a STEM OPT or just OPT, and it has ended. So you are in this period of cap gap between the end of your F-1 status and the beginning of your H-1B. If you travel abroad, that abandons your change of status. So you will potentially get an H-1B approval, maybe, but you will not be able to change status in the United States. You will have to pretty much stay abroad until your H-1B petition is approved. So I say no travel during cap gap abroad, no travel abroad. The other thing that we're seeing for those of you that have traveled, well, not that we're just seeing, it's if you do travel abroad, you will have to go through a visa interview, an in-person interview at the consulate. There are new fees. One of them is called a visa integrity fee, which is about $250. There's details to be announced on this one, but it's expected to begin October 1st. So in addition to the application fee, you will be also required to pay this visa integrity fee. Expect delays, expect sometimes administrative processing, which means that the case is held for further investigation, and there's very little that can be done to advance the process of that case. So someone could be abroad for an indefinite period of time. We have seen at times the travel bans that also stop the ability of people to travel. So there could be many, many variables that can affect your ability to return to the United States. So even if your H-1B petition has been approved and is after October 1st, I will caution travel abroad. If you do, again, need passport that is valid. You will need your approval notice. A copy of the approval notice is fine or should be fine. Other supporting documents, for example, pay statements, and always check your I-94 when you come back into the United States. Planning ahead, again, critical, booking early, doing the S-160, avoiding non-essential travel. So you're going to hear me repeat that again and again. So here's a little recap. If the H-1B, if it's after the H-1B has been filed but not approved, do not travel until the H-1B is approved. And then even if it's approved, I would recommend not traveling until after October 1st. And even if it's approved and after October 1st, yes, you could travel with precaution. And again, note that you will need to apply for a new H-1 visa at your last place of residence before you come back to the United States. You could not be able to come back on an F-1 visa. We do have consular processing services. These are the various tiers that we have. Tier 1 is just general guidance, communications, DS-160 basics. It is all of these tiers are well worth their value is tremendous, what you would get and the peace of mind. Tier 2, 600 includes Tier 1 and the detailed DS-160 review, supporting documents, tailor recommendations, and then the last one is for much more complex cases. So if you do need assistance, we recommend, we do have free resources and we're happy to provide those to you. But if you want a more tailored experience, which is, again, well worth it, just consider that this is being offered to you. And this is what the stamps would look like. Potentially you have an F-1 right now, and the goal is to get an H-1B stamp for your future travels. Okay, key employer considerations. I-9 re-verification that needs to happen when the H-1B is approved. So update as an H-1B worker. They would typically be using the supplement B for re-verification because you would have used already section 2 for the EAD and the cap gap. Also tax withholding. This is something that sometimes gets forgotten or confused, but the FICA exemption that F-1 students have disappears once they become H-1B workers. So make sure that that happens on the background. Benefits may change depending on the organization. And public access files need to be maintained, and those would be reviewed if you were to have a DOL audit, or sometimes even the FDNS Visits audits. We provide and prepare this for our clients. And now more than ever, staying flexible and informed becomes really essential, particularly right now because many cases are still not adjudicated. We're seeing quite a few bumps in the process. This is a sample of the H-1B re-verification on supplement B. So take a look. You can take a screenshot so that you know what to do when you're doing the supplement B re-verification. And then for the employee, maybe repeating some of the things that I said before, but sometimes repetition is good. Again, the cap gap has been extended through April 1st. Leaving the US before the H-1B is approved and taken effect means that you will be abandoning your change of status. In fact, we actually had a foreign national that did that. They travel, they entered on their F-1 status, and now we have received an H-1B approval, but a change of status denial. And it's can be scary and frustrating, but what is going to happen in that situation is that person is going to have to travel back to their home country and re-enter the United States in H-1B status because they abandoned their change of status when they travel. So it does happen. Visa stamping, again, delays and bumps in the road. Remember that there will be a little bit more money taken out of your paycheck as a result of the FICA exemption ending. And again, staying flexible, informed is key. So, summary of the key takeaways: compliance. So I-9s will have to be updated, tax payroll adjustments, travel only if necessary, expect delays, remain flexible. So this year, the F-1 to the H-1B process has seen more changes and delays than usual. I am leaning in, hopefully we'll lean in together so that we can make this process smooth and strategic. If you were here with me, I would be asking you to share something that you learned. There was a fact, a shift, a surprise, something like that. And also to share your pulse. What are you now? A 1, a 0, a 2. Where's your level of knowledge right now versus when we began this presentation in terms of what you needed to know for the transition? I hope that number is a little higher. And I would love for you to let me know, hey, Giselle, send me an email. I watched your presentation. It was great, hopefully, or whatever your feedback is. We're doing this for you so that you can gain some more knowledge and give you peace of mind. And I always love to know what you feel or how you feel about this presentation so that we can make them better for you. So I look forward to your feedback. And if we are not connected, go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's just easier for me to provide updates on LinkedIn than to do presentations or other things. So let's make sure that we stay connected. So you can scan that QR code. And I, again, look forward to connecting with you. Thank you for being here with me today. And I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.